Hey there, geniuses. I'm back with another video and a topic from the INFJ perspective. And I thought I would talk about the INFJ superhero complex, which maybe you know what I'm talking about, maybe you don't. But I was just thinking today about how I have this tendency, if you want to call it that, or it's just a regular habit, of pretty much trying to be a superhero to but basically close friends and family, but I would even take that another step and say on social media, anytime somebody asks for help or asks a question, I don't know if this is even all INFJs. Probably not. This is probably one thing where at different sides on, or at different places in life, depending on our experiences and how we've managed to just not be a people pleaser, basically, all the time. And I would say I've gotten a lot better at it, and I think what it comes down to is that when somebody asks you something or asks you for something, you just have to stop in that moment, sort of, and think to yourself, do I need to do this right now? Can it wait? Is there a different way I can go about it? Maybe to still help them, but not put them so far ahead of myself and my own needs and time and everything. Because it's really just being respectful to yourself and loving yourself first, instead of just basically trying to save the day, be the superhero for everyone else. So I would be curious as to what other INFJs think on this subject or how they feel about it. I would say, as much as I've improved over the years, I've simultaneously become more aware of how bad I am at this. And even if I don't do it, if I don't help them and go out of my way, there's still that moment when somebody asks or texts me something that is semi-important, or I just mean they bring up something to me that it's obviously important to them, and it's not even an urgent thing, but no matter what, I generally will stop and just realize, oh yeah, this is out of the norm for them. They don't normally ask me this kind of thing or whatnot, and I think about it and have that moment of, oh, I should, write back, or I should do what they just asked me to do right away. And it definitely depends on how close they are on my inner circle. If somebody that I don't particularly like too much, or I think they're being selfish, or I know them as a selfish person, then no, I will not do that. And maybe that's what I meant as far as being more mature about it and learning from past experiences. Because 10 or 20 years ago, I would fulfill a lot more requests urgently for just about anybody, just because they asked, as long as it was reasonable. And that is not wise. That is not treating yourself well at all. And what happens is, when you let other people sort of demand your time or take over your time, it just takes away from what you want to do and accomplish. So just thinking about that whole thing and trying to be a superhero for others, vice being a superhero for yourself, just imagine all those skills that you could be using, all that time you could be using for yourself if you weren't trying to people please others so much. And I think that right there is a good video for today. I don't know what you think, but that is huge. And that is obviously not just an INFJ problem or something that INFJs could work on, because we are so empathetic. Is that the right word? Yeah, empathic. And because we just feel it, especially if somebody is right next to us, maybe even more, we can feel that energy of the need, them wanting our help. But even over the phone, even in a text, we have the ability to analyze words and even different patterns of speech from how they normally text us. And it's kind of amazing, really. It's one of those things that even surprises me sometimes, how I feel like I can not read somebody's mind, but I can read their energy and kind of what mood they're in, kind of what state of mind they're in, just from a sentence or two. And it's just because we're constantly, like I said, analyzing their speech, analyzing their patterns, how they communicate with us and other people when we observe it. And so we notice when something changes. And it could be the smallest thing. It could be just one sentence. It could be the use of a word that they don't normally use. And so that's pretty cool. And that also just explains why our energy can be used up so quickly around people. Not even around them, even online. Because we use so much energy to just analyze and overanalyze things that lots of times we don't really need to do, but it's an automatic thing. And so it's an automatic energy burner too that kind of just goes on. It's like our computer is running in the background no matter what. And so to some extent we can control that, but to some extent we can't, and we just have to. But that just supports why we need to not be people pleasers so much and sort of protect our own energy and our time, because we automatically analyze stuff constantly. And so just imagine how much greater things you could accomplish and how much more peace you could have if you weren't trying to please others so much. And there's probably some INFJs out there who are really good at not doing that. And I would just guess that it has something to do with the experiences you've had in life with other people, just like myself. I've had some really bad experiences with horrible bosses and people who were narcissists, demanding things from me and putting me in a place where I kind of felt like I had no choice, and in some ways I didn't at the time, without doing something drastic that I didn't want to do. So I've learned those lessons the hard way, for sure. And I guess nowadays I have a lot more free time and freedom, which I'm thankful for. And so I've kind of gained back maybe a little bit of the superhero complex, just because of the fact that I do consider myself very blessed and have more free time than average. And so I do try to give back and maybe go a little bit overboard by caring for others and trying trying to help people, but it's a conscious choice, and I'm okay with that. So that's the main thing, is just remembering it's a balance, and you want to have control over it. You don't want to feel like you're being pressured to do certain things or do anything you don't want to do. So for all of you superheroes out there, I hope you have a great rest of the day, week, and month, and weekend, depending when you're listening to this. And I'll look forward to seeing you next time here. So until next time, I will see you soon, genius.